Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the new face of Farmhouse Ham Radio. My name is Aaron, KC3QPJ, and just wanted to give a little bit of information out today since there's a new buzz going on about a new radio that Icom has put out. Today is April 13th, and it's approximately 4 p.m. And I hope you guys are having a good week this week, and sorry I'm a little out of sorts today. So I wanted to discuss Amazon prices as opposed to prices with places like DX Engineering, Ham Radio Outlet, Gigaparts, all that fun stuff. I want to show you guys something real quick that may be of some interest to you, and it's mainly regarding the sales of handheld and even mobile radios on Amazon, and why sometimes it's not the best bet to get your radios from Amazon. So with that said, this is going to be proof in the pudding as far as price gouging goes. I'm sure all of you at this point, especially veterans, know about the Yaesu FT65R, I believe it is, the FT65 FT or the 65R. Generally, these radios are very inexpensive. They're very good starter radios for the ham that's budget-minded and wanting to come in. And I just want to show you guys this real quick. I'm on DX Engineering's website here. Okay. Here's the Yaesu FT65R dual band radio. Okay, as you can see here, obviously $90. Everybody complains about why are these HTs so much more expensive than Baofeng radios or a Wojun radio or whatever cheap handy talkie you want to buy. And I'm guilty of buying cheap handy talkies, but I've also invested in a decent handy talkie, being the Anytone 878. Which has been great. But as you guys can see, $89.95. Now, third-party selling gets away with a lot of stuff on Amazon. It is price gouging. I did contact Amazon regarding different price gougings that I've seen, not even just in ham radio, heck, toilet seats and all sorts of fun stuff. So, $89.95. So let's go over here to Amazon. Now, you can't tell me that's not price gouging. And this company, which I don't want to mention names, if you can see it, you can see it. That company is in the United States. Alright, I could understand if there was a $20 difference in cost. I could see if there was maybe a $25 difference in cost, depending on shipping, how much they have in stock. But this is not a new release radio. And I don't know how much this radio was when it first came out, but this radio is a very old model. I would say it's better than 7 to 8 years old when it was released. And this is just without doing any research regarding this radio. However, I just wanted to make you guys aware, be careful what you buy from Amazon. While the product is probably good, you still take a risk of it not being what they say it is. It could be a knockoff, and when you have a shockingly high contrast in price like that, now I did go to a different website and check the cost, and there was a $10 difference. I'm not going to mention the website. You guys can do all this research on your own and just find a good deal. And best thing to do is, before you purchase anything from that's not on Amazon, that's a site that you don't know about, try to contact them directly, get some more specs on it, see why their cost is so high or what have you. So this is the kind of thing that a beginner may look at and be like, oh, that looks like a really nice radio, and then $200 for that when I can get a Baofeng, top of the line Baofeng for $110. And the Baofengs, look, they work. They work better than a $20 radio. They work better than a $50 radio, but they are not good for filtering, as I proved on a mountaintop with no obstructions. It wouldn't filter out surrounding noise. So That being said, I do have another announcement. Ham Radio 2.0, Jason, I think he's in Texas, if I'm not mistaken. He's already done his thoughts on this radio, and I'm going to show you what my thoughts on this radio are. Now, this is a radio that's supposed to be released midsummer. The cost of the radio has not come out, but I hold a particular interest in this radio because it's something that I think would keep me on a budget. And I think if the price point is right, this is going to be a very popular radio. Now, some of you guys might think, well, this is kind of moving backwards. But let's just go ahead and take a look at this radio real quick. We're going to do some scrolling. Hopefully your screen is big enough to where you'll be able to see this, and I might even be able to post this link in my description. And I want to give a special thanks to Jason from Ham Radio 2.0 KC5HWB. Appreciate you bringing this to light. Hope you visit my channel sometime, and I'm going to give my thoughts on this radio as a beginner. Okay, I'm a year in, but as a beginner. That being said, let's go ahead and take a look at this radio real quick. All right, guys. So here's the radio. The model number is going to be an IC-T10. Now, there's a couple great things about this radio, and there's a couple downsides to this radio. And this is where I feel like if they don't make a good price point on this radio, it's not going to sell. Now, I've heard rumors anywhere from $80 up to $199. In my opinion, if they price this radio for any more than $110 to $125, I will not purchase it past that price point. Okay, and I will give my reasons why. First of all, as you can see here on the display, single display. Okay, it does do 2 meter 70 centimeter. It is a dual band radio, but you only have one display. So one display means it's not dual monitoring, it's not dual receive as far as being able to monitor two different frequencies at one time. So basically, when you're on that channel, you're on that channel, and that's all you can monitor while you're there. Now, probably does have scan function, which is great. Okay, but to me, that's a big downside for a lot of people. Not for me, because I don't hardly ever monitor two channels from a handy talkie. Most times I'm concentrating on one, and the other band is turned off. Now, if I have my home base station, that's a different story. You want to try to be in the mix and do a lot, but generally with a handy talkie, you're out having fun and you're only monitoring one thing at a time. So that's one downside for a lot of people. Okay. The other downside is the direct conversion receiver that is in this radio. Now, okay, a lot of people are like, well, why is that a big deal? Well, it's not really. They do work with good filtering, but with a super het or a heterodyne receiver or a super heterodyne receiver, where a lot of the handy talkies have gone to, and if you guys can pardon me for the noise in the background, my cats are having a field day. But a super het receiver generally requires less filtering. They're a lot more sensitive to bring in the distant signals and be able to amplify them a lot more efficiently than direct conversion does. That being said, it's been rumored that they're using the same chip as the Baofangs. I don't believe that, but anything is possible. Anything is possible. But right here at the bottom, it shows direct conversion system. Is this still going to perform better than a Baofeng using direct conversion? Absolutely. Icom's not going to take that far a step backwards. So I'm hoping that this is their attempt to get the newer hams and people that are on a budget to buy a better quality radio. Okay. The other reason I feel this is kind of a step backwards, but in a good way, is because it's not offering any other modes. Okay. Now, if you look, there are DMR radios that are out there that are going to perform better than a Baofeng radio, and they're priced just around $140. Okay. which to me at $140 you're going to have better reception. It needs better filtering in a DMR radio so that you can keep those weaker digital signals up to par. Okay, this doesn't have any digital modes. This is not DMR. This is just strictly an analog radio. Okay. All right, so those are the biggest cons for me, where I think if they price too high, it's not going to be worth my time to invest in this radio, even though it's a great radio. I would like to try to do a review on it. If anybody does purchase it and would like to send it to me, I could send it back to you, but however, obviously we know it's not been released yet. All right, so plus side. All right, 5 watts output. Generally, Icom does a really good job with that. Their output on their carrier waves or whatever frequency you're transmitting in is going to be a lot cleaner. It's not going to spew spurious emissions across the bands like a Baofeng does. 1500 milliwatt loud and intelligible audio. 1500 milliwatts makes it sound better than what it is, but it's just really a 1.5 watt speaker, an output for the speaker, which is good for a handy talkie actually, because most of them do about 0.5 watt. Here's another upside: IP67, dust tight and waterproof. So I think this is what they're going to try to sell you on the most is the fact that it's waterproof and dust proof. Now, another good thing is they are going to be releasing a lot of accessories for this radio. Some have already been released because it's still using it's still using a battery that already exists. Okay. The other thing that appealed to me was the 6-bay charger here. Now, hopefully, Icom, being who they are, I mean, a charger's a charger, guys, but if it's an exorbitant amount of money, like I said, I don't think I'd be interested. But you know what? I'd rather see that full of Icoms than my 6-bay charger full of Baofeng UV5Rs, And I really think that if they price this radio the way Icom definitely tries to stay in the top side of things. They're not going to, and I had this discussion with another ham radio operator. They feel they can keep the price point high enough to still generate enough interest for people to buy them, and mainly because when you are a new ham and you buy these crappy radios like Baofengs, and I shouldn't say crappy, they work, okay, but they're not as good, they're not as efficient, nowhere near as efficient as a Yaesu and Icom or a Kenwood. I mean, even Woshun has come a long way, or Ocean. I don't know how to pronounce that Chinese company's name, but I think if the price point is good, I think it would be a really good radio as a backup radio, around the farm radio here at the farmhouse. And I think it could go a long way to generate more interest in this hobby as a whole. Okay. Yaesu has the FT65R. That's averaging around $90 right now. But as you can see, the 65R on the Amazon, that was just absolutely ridiculously inflated. And for an older model radio, I really feel like these people are trying to commit highway robbery. Now, Icom, here's my challenge to you. If you can keep it under $150, I'm in. I mean, I'd be stretching it at 130, only because you're not, they have better filtering, absolutely. They have much better features than a Baofeng, generally much easier to program, but this is not new technology. Don't try to sell me your name, okay? Sell me a product that has the quality that's new, okay? This filtering, after a certain amount of time, it's not new technology. It's technology that you use to make a better radio, but it's not new technology, okay? You're giving me a dual band radio dumbed down with a display that's dumbed down, a receiver that's dumbed down, which requires more filtering. Okay, now if it was superhet, I'd pay $220 for that thing easily. If it was a heterodyne receiver in there, absolutely, hands down, that would be the one that I would like to own over my Baofeng radios any day of the week. That being said, guys, I hope some of this information was useful to you today. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know, and I appreciate you guys viewing my channel, and new updates soon to come. Just figured I'd throw this out here today for everybody. This is KC3QPJ with Farmhouse Ham Radio saying 7-3. Have a good one.